I say that facetiously, but I would encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity of having some of these people in the room today over lunch or off on the side and have a conversation with them about how the New York Sun program is going to operate. Again, Tom and Gil kind of alluded to this. Key to everything that we do, whether we're talking about solar or any other renewable energy technologies, is concept of partnership. We are acutely aware in government that we are not the ones that create the jobs. It is you in the private sector who have to be willing to make the investment in solar technology and other technologies that will actually affect the transformation that Tom was talking about, that the governor is very much looking for here in New York State. And speaking about the governor, just as a beginning, Tom was just up at Fort Drum with the governor earlier this week, I think it was on Monday, and the governor was touring this big, huge biomass project at Fort Drum, which we funded through the Renewable Portfolio Standard Program. I think it's the largest biomass generating facility in the state. And in talking about that facility, the governor talked about how important renewable energy is to the mix here in New York State. And he didn't single out biomass as the solution any more than solar is the solution or any of these other technologies that we're talking about. Frankly, we need, and we've been pushing through NYSERDA, through the Power Authority, LIPA, and others, all of these technologies. We know we're not smart enough to pick technology winners. You in the marketplace will ultimately do that. But also looking forward over the landscape here in New York State, the many years of experience we collectively have in the energy area, we appreciate that we're going to need all of these technologies to one degree or another if we're going to accomplish what the governor has talked about and achieve the type of clean, affordable energy future that we've all been talking about here in New York State. So let's see if I can do this right. Skip all that. Let's talk a little bit about renewable energy. You need to put the New York Sun Initiative in context, and Gil was talking about this a little bit already. The folks in New Jersey and Massachusetts and California and elsewhere should feel proud about what they've been able to accomplish with regard to solar energy. We're pretty proud about what we've done. We took a very different approach. Many other states, they've essentially taken their eggs and placed them all in one renewable energy basket. We in New York are fortunate. We have a wide range of renewable energy options available to us. And what underlay the Renewable Portfolio Standard, when it was adopted by the Public Service Commission, was the philosophy is that we should be looking to embrace all of these technologies. And that's the type of program that we have here in New York State. And if you look here at the amount of installed renewable capacity in New York State, you will see that the amount of installed renewable capacity here in New York State across the spectrum, you add all that up, you add up all those other states you see there, all added up together, they are just comparable to what we're doing here in New York State. So a diverse portfolio is a key element of our energy policy here in New York State. And these are not my numbers, they're not NYSERDA's numbers, they're not the Power Authority's numbers, they're not the governor's numbers, they're NREL's numbers. So this is based upon a survey of renewable energy all across the state. We are ranked 5th in the United States in terms of renewable energy capacity providing electricity, and we are the only state east of the Mississippi River ranked in the top 5. And we're the only Northeast state ranked in the top 10. So that's kind of the underlying policy philosophy that drives our investments in renewable energy. Now, as Tom mentioned, as part of the legislation the governor signed last year, we at NYSERDA were charged with conducting a study, a solar study, the goal of which was tell us how much it would cost and what the benefits and downsides would be of installing 5,000 megawatts of solar in New York State by the year 2025. Well, here you have some of the cost scenarios that we came up with. The two most important variables should come of no surprise to any of you that have been engaged in the solar work. The two most important variables in determining costs are the continued availability of the federal tax credits that have been supporting a lot of the investment in solar. And secondly, what assumption you make about the cost of the actual PV cell. And we ran 3 different scenarios based upon variations on both of those, and here you see the range of costs. Now in the aggregate, if you add these up, those are the individual project costs. If you add them up in the aggregate, you're talking about cost estimates ranging somewhere from $300 million, there we go, from $300 million to $9 billion. That's a pretty wide range. And from a risk analysis point of view, from the state's perspective about investing public funds, whether it be taxpayer dollars or ratepayer dollars, that's a pretty wide range of risk. And that also had an impact upon our policy. So given the major uncertainties of PV technology cost reductions and the continued availability of the federal tax credit over the time period of the study, we concluded that there is indeed a significant range in the potential cost estimates. And the magnitude and the range of that cost uncertainty is substantial, and it strongly suggests the need for a policy response and an investment strategy that is both flexible and responsive. I think Gil may have used those terms already. Flexible and responsible, those are the guiding lights for our overall investment policy in solar here in New York State. Nevertheless, if you dig into the study, I know some of you in the audience here have, it's a very well done study, if I may say so. The study does identify some very real economic development benefits that would be associated with the development of solar here in New York State. And that message came across loud and clear to the governor. It meant we need to continue to invest in solar. We need to continue to develop this technology, but we need to do it in a way that is both fiscally prudent and programmatically flexible. And that's exactly the approach that we've taken. Some of the recommendations in the study beyond simply increased investment in solar are things that you heard about yesterday and you're going to hear more about today, such as the development of policies supporting net metering, sales tax exemptions, and interconnection standards that further reduce the cost of PV installation. We need also to complement by additional efforts that are designed to reduce the balance of system costs. And again, Gil talked a little bit about that as did Tom. And one of the really exciting things, and Gil referred to this, the Power Authority is investing $30 million in this sort of strategy. We are investing $10 million. And I think this is the first time in my memory anyhow, Gil, that the Power Authority and NYSERDA are entering into a MOU in which we are jointly going to be issuing solicitations to identify projects where we can push the envelope, so to speak, and help reduce this balance of systems costs. That's never been the case in my memory anyhow here in New York State. But also, in particular for our friends from the federal government who may still be here, as important as what we're doing here at the state level, we cannot forget the important role the federal government must continue to play in supporting the development of PV. So the continued availability of the federal tax credit, that's really Congress, and I know our delegation here in New York State have been very supportive of this. That's all caught up like so much else in Washington right now in the election year politics. But in addition to the investment tax credit, the continued investment by the federal government in research and development. The award that was given to Pradeep and his colleagues here at the Nanotech College, I think is suggestive and indicative of the type of technological wherewithal and expertise we have here in New York State. I think it also recognizes this, again, this concept of partnership. Pradeep and his colleagues were able to win an award of more than $50 million to support what they're doing here. We at NYSERDA were able to invest $5 million into that effort. And I know Pradeep and his colleagues are working with a large number of solar firms in the private sector. That's the model we need if we're going to succeed, the model of government, academia, and the private sector working together. And I'm glad to see that DOE has recognized the value of that model and certainly would encourage them. And I know they get battered a lot, particularly in the Congress nowadays, about some of the investments they continue to make in some of these renewable technologies. We at least recognize the value of that, and we applaud them for both their commitment and their leadership. Now let's talk a little bit about the New York Sun Initiative. As Tom mentioned, we proposed to the Public Service Commissioner earlier this year, and they did act in their powers in lightning speed to approve the amount of funding available to us under our renewable portfolio standard, what we call the customer-sited tier. They doubled the amount of funding available to us from $54 million to $108 million a year, and they authorized the funding for the next 5 years. So that's a big chunk of money. It's well over $400 million that's made available to us. But again, as Tom and Gil have talked a little bit about, in some ways, that's almost the tip of the iceberg. You're talking about the $432 million that's available through NYSERDA. But when you start adding in the investments that Gil and his colleagues are making with the Power Authority and the program that LIPER is running in Long Island, we're talking about a total aggregate investment in solar, a commitment by the state of New York of over $700 million. Even in New York, that gets attention. In addition to the funding for the actual installation of the solar devices, the second goal of the New York Sun is the technology advancement, system cost reduction, and the PV balance assistance program, which I already mentioned. The approaches we're taking, we have the deployment incentive programs. We actually operate, as some of you may know, 2 programs under the customer-sited tier. There is the direct customer installation program, and Jeff Irish talked quite a bit about that yesterday. That's for projects that are less than or equal to 50 kW. We also have a competitive PV program. That's the program that the governor announced yesterday, the $106 million solicitation that we put out on the street. For those of you who may not be quite as familiar with the way the program operates here in New York State, that is an outgrowth of a directive from the Public Service Commission, I think 2 years ago. We were funding a large number of renewable energy projects all across the state under the Renewable Portfolio Standard, but all across the state was basically North and Westchester County. Projects in the city, in the metropolitan New York City area, just could not